Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So today I'm going to work on my Stamperia Spring Botanic junk journal. I started it last week and I think I'm about ready to do some more work in it. So what I wanted to show you guys last week that I didn't get a chance to was really how I put together some of my signature pages that are in the junk journal. I'm going to grab just a couple of book pages. Now this is just standard book paper that you would tear out of a book. Let's just grab one here. Okay, so probably a book like this, right? I've been tearing a lot of pages out of here, using it up, and this is just another example of that. So this right here came from a totally different book. I don't even know what book it is. The Makeitmonday tapes. Okay. It was probably a novel that I read a few months ago, and I'm done with it. So the pages in there were pretty decent, and I've decided to use them up in my junk journals. So I've been tearing pages out of it. So let me just grab my signatures. These are the signatures that are going into that Stamperia Spring Botanic junk journal. Some of them I made, like this one, right? And then most of these are pre-collaged, and they're from the paper pack itself. And in here are all of my signatures. So let's talk about my signatures. I have lots and lots of blank paper that I've coffee dyed or tea dyed and placed them in here. I have a couple of lined sheets. Now this I probably got from a digital download and double side printed it. So more coffee dyed paper. I have some doilies in here, as well as some paper that I just scallop punched with my where is it? Yeah, so I just use my pretty decorative edge punch to achieve that. I have some green paper in here. Now green paper is what I use in my household painting project, so it comes on a giant roll. I just so happen to have it right here. It comes on this really large roll. I think I picked this up from Amazon. It may be in my description box down below. But green paper is just like a little filler. It comes on this roll because painters use it when they're painting your home. They roll this out on the floor to protect your flooring or sections of the walls that they don't want to get paint on. It's very thin. It's not very porous at all, but for some reason it works for them, so it's working for me. And that's what I have here, is just some green paper that I tore out of this roll. More blank pages. I also have some music paper. Now remember, a few weeks ago I did a thrifting haul, and one of the thrifting hauls items were it was actually 3 binders filled with music paper. Now I picked up those 3 binders because I went to an app on my phone called Freebie Alerts, and I think I mentioned it in the video that Freebie Alerts is just an app. You download it. It's available everywhere in the country. Basically, you can get alerts on when people put things out to the curb, or is it not Freebie Alerts? It's called Curb Alert, actually. So yeah, it's called Curb Alert, and you get alerts every time someone throws something out. They'll take a picture of it, post it on this free app, and you just go and pick it up. You get the address directly from the app. So anyway, there's some more of that in there. What else do I have? Okay, so that's this signature. The next signature I have here, again, some more of that decorative paper, decorative edged paper that I just punch it with my this little punch. Some more pretty paper, lined paper, coffee dyed paper, music paper. Somewhere in here is oh, I have like a magazine paper in here. I have doilies in here, and this is red paper. It's kind of like the green paper. It comes on a roll. As you can see, it's not very it's transparent, kind of. It's not very porous or thick, And yeah, I just use it as a filler in my signatures. So some more music paper, etc. This one I have pretty much the same thing. Here's some yellow paper, again very similar to the green paper. And here's a page that I made. Alright, so let's talk about this page. This page right here is recipe book. Okay, recipe book paper. On this side is where I've decorated it. So I did some, this is called rub-on transfer. So I did some rub-on transfer on here. It was just a package that looks like this. I got it at the Dollar Tree. It's, you know, now it's $1.25, but when it was $1, I picked up like 10 of these little rub-on transfers because I knew I was going to need it. It's very collagey, very grungy, and when you add it to paper, this is what it looks like. Okay, so I'm trying to keep the glare out of your face. But yeah, I did some rub-on transfer on here, and just did a little collage over here, did some stamping and inked everything, tore the page, inked everything, and then I coated it with clear gesso. Okay, or maybe I coated it with clear gesso first and then I stamped on it, because clear gesso is very it's gritty. And I keep mine, now I keep mine in a little jar like this. Let me move that stamp. I keep mine in a little jar like this, and this is clear gesso, which is super gritty, mixed with Mod Podge, and my Mod Podge is the matte version of that Mod Podge, and clear gesso is also pretty matte. Alright, so that's what that looks like. And I mixed it together because Mod Podge is basically glue and water. It's a water base, or yeah, I guess it's kind of like glue, but it creates this protective layer. You know what Mod Podge is. Anyway, so yeah, on the inside here, I took these two book pages and I put them together to make one page. And this one page will go into my junk journal, like so. And I'm holding these two pages together with washi and basically washi and glue. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did that. In here is another one. This is more book page from the Mayovsky tapes, and I used washi again to hold it together, and I glued on a page from the Sears and Roebuck's probably 1889 catalog or something like that. I do have an actual copy of that, so yeah, I've just been using it sparingly because it's the only one that I have. I wish I had it nearby so I can show you guys, but I don't. Anyway, more book paper. There's that, and again, doilies, book page, writing paper, music paper, etc. So that's all of my 6 signatures. I just talked about signatures for 8 minutes, guys. I want to show you guys how I put these two together to make one page like this. Okay, again, it's just washi and glue. So to make sure that my washi is adhered really well, I tend to add glue to it. So I just place my paper side by side. As you can see, this one's ready to go into the junk journal at some point, somewhere in there. And then I just grab some washi. This is about a 1-inch strip of washi, and I grab my washi. I pull as much as I need. Okay, so about that much. Grab my glue stick. Sometimes I use Scotch Create, but I'm very pleased with this Jot Activity glue stick. It is a water-based glue stick, but for some reason it is really strong. It's a good glue. So if you guys see this at your Dollar Tree, because that's where I believe this came from, it's a Jot product. I got it from, I want to say Happy Mail, maybe Gracie's Crafty Closet sent this to me. So yeah, I'm very happy with this this glue stick. and just run your washi across the glue after you've set it in place, your papers in place, and you attach them together just like this. Now things may shift, expect that. Things may shift around in the process, but you just get it as straight as you possibly can. I'm going to flip it over, and now I can add my glue directly to the papers. See that it shifted down here at the bottom, and I'm okay with that. I mean, when that happens, it's because my paper is now straight as opposed to when it was overlapping. It was probably a little crooked. So placing it flat on my cutting board, on my cutting mat, basically straightens everything out on its own. And I'm just going to pull the washi right up to the edge without crushing the end of the paper, getting it nice and straight here. And I use my bone folder to make sure I get this nice and adhered. And this is perforated. It's supposed to be like stamps, you know. So these are perforated little pieces of washi, and I'm just going to tear that off right there. Alright, so while this is drying, and I'm going to let it dry completely before folding it over, but once it's dry, I'll then fold this in half and get the crease right down the middle and adhere it to, or put it into my signatures. Okay, so there's this. That's how I take two pieces of regular book page and connect them together to fit into my junk journal. Now the other thing that I wanted to show you guys was, remember this little guy? This was a piece of green folder from when we chopped up our document wallet to make our cover for the junk journal cover. This right here was a full cutaway that I cut it out and kept it. I was like, oh, this will make a great little book. So again, to make a little book, I just grabbed some of this same paper, coffee dyed paper, inked the edges, music paper, alright, inked the edges, tore it in half, and then tore it again into quarters. Alright, so if you take, I don't know if I'll find the right ones, but if you take 4 of these and put them together, you'll then have one large sheet of paper. Okay, so let's just say these 4 came from one page. I just tore it up, guys, made it into what I needed it to be to fit into this junk journal. Okay, I'm making a little tiny mini junk journal to go along with the Stamperia Spring Botanic junk journal. So this will be a little mini something that I'll include in that junk journal. And then find the center of the signature. Okay, make sure your pages are nice and even, and you can either staple this in or you can stitch it in. There's enough room for a very tiny 3-hole pamphlet stitch right there. I might staple it in. I don't know. We'll see. We shall see. So that's that. That's what I've been working on. The other thing that I've been working on, okay, so I'm going to bring in my entire cover to my junk journal. So here on my desk I have Rustic Wilderness. That's the Distress Oxide that I've been using, and I just went over all of the tape. Okay, this is the book guard that I used to tape up all of my creases and spines and make sure that everything is nice and you know, secure. And I just went around the entire thing, inked it with Rustic Wilderness, both front and back. So there's all the tape. And around the bottom section where the pockets will fold up is where I did a little bit heavier inking. Okay, so that's what I've done to that, just to make sure that when I put in my decorative paper, it doesn't show through, or you know. So here's a piece of the decorated paper that I've placed in here. I'm going to show you the paper pack that I got this from. It's not one of my regular paper packs. It's called Kirby Teasdale. It's by Paper Studio. I picked this up at Hobby Lobby, and regular price is $12.99, but there's 80 sheets of paper in here, and each one, there's 20 different designs, 4 of each page. Okay, so I'll just show you guys briefly what this paper pack looks like. So there's 4 of these, 4 of these. So yeah, there's 4 of each. Oh, so gorge. 4 of each of these in here, and I tore out just a couple of pages to use in the junk journal. I thought it kind of resembled just a little bit of the Stamperia paper pack that we're using to make the spring botanic. So I then did some measuring. Here is my my closure on this side. So I'm just going to flip it over, and we are going to glue down some of that pretty paper directly onto here. And this will be the underlayment to the decorations that we're going to place. Just dropped my bone folder. This will be the underlayment to the decorations that we're going to place on the outside cover. Here, let me rotate it. For the outside cover, right? So this is 1.5 sheets of that pretty paper. Here's the rest of it. It's 12 by 12. Okay, so that's going to go right here on the outside of this. Just like that. And you can see like where the green paper, the white tape would have shown through that I've inked to green. Alright, and yeah, I'm just going to basically figure out like where this needs to go, how much of it needs to be removed, because I do want to get like a little mat of this paper all the way around, so it'll be matted. And then the rustic wilderness will show through on the other side underneath. Okay, so I did glue, like I said, 1.5 sheets of paper together, but as you can see, like once it gets here, this is all fine, but down here at the bottom, it just needs to be trimmed up a little. So let me do that. Let me grab my really good scissor here. Oh boy, trust me, I do not know if I can cut a straight line or not. So, wish me luck. And I'm just trimming off like a sliver, and I'll show you how much I trimmed away in just a moment. Okay, so just a sliver of that paper to create this matted section over here. And this right here is not even really going to get seen that much, because this is actually the pocket on the inside of the front cover. So let's just go ahead and line this up right where I want it. I'm going to use Scotch Create glue for this, because I told you guys I really want this journal to stay in place. Let's get this out of the way and get everything nice and flat. Okay, so I see where my dilemma is. The actual folder does taper down a little bit here. It goes like this and it goes in a little bit, so I'm gonna have to trim that up around here to get it to be matted. Alright, so I'm gonna flip this around again. Sorry for all of the rotating of the paper, but just to get it right where I want it. I'm gonna have to trim this down right about here. Okay, and again, just a little piece I removed. So yeah, that should just about do it for this section. Let's see, let me trim a little bit more. Scary. I'm going freehand freehand with a pair of scissors, very sharp scissors at that. So okay, so now with that done, this is where I will line up my papers, the under cover as well as the decorative cover. And I'm going to use Scotch Create, very sturdy permanent glue. And I'm just going to apply it around the edges here. Okay. And as you know, I always start in the lower left corner. When I'm matting something or affixing something, I usually start down here. Ah, get off. Okay. And then work my way up and around to where I need it to go. And give it a good smush. And then I'll flip this over and pick up where I left off, right about here. And I'm going to apply some glue all over. Scary, but okay. Alright. And yeah, I'm just going to get this paper to go right exactly where I need it to go with the glue. Keep working my way down. And keep working my way down. So this is just the undercover. Like, okay, I had to find paper to match this green folder. So this is the color that I chose. Now you may be using a manila folder. And I know I promised I would show you guys how to do it, but I just haven't gotten around to that yet. Oh, I think I went too far with my glue. It's okay. I just haven't gotten around to actually doing a template with the manila folder, but I will. Okay, I will try. That's like, whew, maybe not. All right, but yeah, I know it's an important thing to do that if you only have manila folders and not these green ones. So alright, yeah, I did go a little far with my glue, but that's quite alright. It's water-based until it's dry. Or water-soluble until it's dry. So I'm just removing some of that glue off the edge. And this is just my pocket, so once it dries, it should be fine. So let me just get some glue down here in the corners of this paper. Yep, that's fine. This is fine. Alright, so here is the inside of the book cover. Before I fold anything over, like I want to fold this up and get my book spine going again, but I have to let this other side dry completely. But here is my pocket. Oh, wait a minute, this was my funny. Anyway, I will just pick this up right where it left off. This is my outside cover, I mean the outside of the pocket, so I shouldn't have cut it there. And that's fine. I'm okay if you guys are okay with it. I will just pick up where I left off. I cut it too short is what it was, not realizing that it's the full pocket and not the inside of the pocket. So in case you don't recognize what I'm doing here, I'm going to cut this down. Okay. And this will go here. And then I'll have to trim it on this side. So I wasn't wrong for going all the way to the end with the glue. I did cut it too short. So just gonna mark where it picks up. Okay. I'm gonna put this in here like so, right up to where it ends on this side and right there. And I will mark this and cut it down. Oh, it's funny because this already has a cut mark on it. I'm wondering if I cut it short by accident. I don't know why. Like, why did it do that? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter why. Yeah, I may have cut it short accidentally, but it's all good in the craft room. Okay. So this will go here and here. And we'll get a nice little matte edge on it. I will trim some more of it back. All right. So I think that's pretty much it, guys. Let's see. This will be it for the outside cover. Okay. It doesn't want to trim back. Like, I feel like I'm not cutting enough. So here, let me mark it with a pencil again. I'll mark right there and mark right here, and we'll trim that again. It's better to trim less than you need than to trim more, because you can always cut more, but you can't put any of it back. So that's why I'm doing it so sparingly and cautiously. Okay, so that's it right there. All right, some more Scotch Create, and this is the outside cover of this pocket that goes right here. So I just wasted a bunch of glue. I wasted some glue, but it's okay. All right, so there's that. I will line this up, match the flowers, and go all the way up with it. And it's as if it never happened. Okay, so there's that. Alright, so on the inside, I use this pretty butterfly pattern, lots of florals. So yeah, I have 4 sheets of it from that same paper pack. And what I want to do is decorate the inside of the book. So let's see if I have more of that. I thought I already tore away. Alright, let's see if I have that butterfly print somewhere. Well, oh, I was gonna say, wait a minute, where did it go? Alright. Alright, so here we go. I did have some that's already torn away. So this is the bottom pocket. So I marked my butterfly paper, and it's going to go from here. Let's get a line going. So line that up with the markings on my cutting mat, and I'm just going to get a straight cut all the way up. Okay. Okay. And then I'll rotate this and line this up. And again, get a straight cut through here. Alright, and for this I can use my trimmer, my paper trimmer. Well, having a bum finger does change things in your craft room, because just not having a proper grip on things, it can be a problem. But it's getting better, I should say. At least I think it is. But just so you know, if it doesn't, I will be seeking medical attention pretty soon. Alright, so let me move this out of the way. Bring back in my book cover. And align this section matted on the edge here. Align this section with that butterfly, his wing ends right there. Can you see that? Yes, you can. Alright, so I'm just going to pull it up slightly and mark my paper again. It's a lot of marking and just really fitting things in place. I'd rather cut something too big than to cut it too small. I can't say it enough. So yeah, it's just a lot of trimming of paper just so you get it just right. Okay, cut that off. And cut this section off. Oh. Let me place it on the mark. So yeah, it's just a lot of really just trimming stuff down so that you get it right where you want it. Okay, now I have to find that butterfly. Where did it go? Oh, here it is. Alright, so I'm going to tuck this back down in here. The butterfly is my marker. I'm going to straighten up my page over here. Oh, that's so perfect. So perfect. Just a little nudge down and we're good. Alright, so what I did was I rounded the corners only on one end of the cover because it kind of needed it. Like one edge of the file folder itself was rounded and it kind of needed to be rounded. So I'm going to do that with this paper as well. And I used the medium setting on my corner rounder, so about 7 millimeters is the mark for that. And then I'm just going to do the same thing, just apply Scotch Create glue all over the inside here and glue this down. Alright, so I'm going to do that and I'll be back in 2 ticks. Hey guys, it's Nicole. Welcome back to Chronicles of a Crafter. So today I am doing the Spring Botanic junk journal. I'm going to decorate the inside pages of the cover, as well as probably stitch in my signatures because I think we're just about there. And then I'm going to decorate the outside cover of the junk journal. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I just basically cut pieces of paper from a paper pack, and I think I showed you guys the paper pack that I'm using. This is Kirby Teasdale Studio, and it's from Hobby Lobby. I don't know if they have these. I think I got this on clearance, or it was somewhere it was somewhere it probably shouldn't have been, or it was just a clearance item, and I don't know if they have these anymore, but it seemed pretty relevant to me, and that's why I picked it up. And I may have paid, I want to say half price, so about $6.50, $7.50 for this. It was regular price $13. So let's see, I'm just going to go ahead and use my Scotch Create glue stick and glue down these pocket covers. And again, I'm just using that pretty paper pack, pretty paper from that paper pack. I cut everything to size, and I always start in the lower left corner just to get myself acclimated to where things are going to get placed. And this is a matted section, so everything is cut just a little bit small, about 1/8 of an inch smaller than the actual pocket. And I heavily inked this one with ground espresso. I inked the entire journal with Rustic Wilderness. So yeah, I'm just picking up where I left off. I didn't do much else. I did glue this section in and roll the rest of my cover corner, the cover closure. So that's all I've done. I should have done more, but I didn't. So yeah, everything is just a slightly smaller than the location that it's going in, and that's how you get it matted on here. Some of it is exactly 1/8 away. Others is a little bit smaller than 1/8 of an inch. So yeah, we're just gonna glue these down. I'm gonna slightly overlap these two sections right here and glue this in place. Okay. And that's about it. So yeah, I just lined up my paper and cut it to size. I didn't really do much measuring. So if you want exact measurements, again, you may not have this type of folder. So I did pull these file folders. These are just plain manila file folders, and I was thinking about giving you guys some specs on how to get this done with this same particular file folder, but it is a lot of work, so it may be a project for another day. So I will consider doing that with maybe a different paper pack. I still have Stamperia's Forest. I also have Vagabond. I have the male and the female Vagabond. So maybe I will do something with this file folder to make another type of junk journal. But with all of this pretty floral paper with the butterflies and whatnot, I figured I would do the Spring Botanic. And it's almost spring, guys. Like, fingers crossed it's coming. Those of you who have, like, you know, sub-zero temperatures and maybe 20 inches of snow on the ground, is probably not really taking me seriously. But yeah, spring is coming eventually. So I'm just gluing down these flaps that creates this gusseted pocket. And I was going to do a scalloped finger notch on here, but I think with the gusset, you'll know for a fact that it is a pocket, right? So I may have gone too high there and here, but okay. So yeah, I'm using my art glitter glue to glue this down, and with the variation of paper, it's almost inevitable that this isn't a pocket. So yeah, I'm gonna put some clips on here to hold it in place and until it dries. And yeah, so the gussets came with the envelope. I just reused them in a different position, but the gussets were already there. Not that there was a pocket there, it's just that this is a document wallet, and once you deconstruct your envelope, there is this little gusset here, so part of it was already existing. I just cut mine from the bottom and then repositioned it up here where I needed it to go at the 9-inch mark. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to put a link for that video right up here, the start of this junk journal creation, so that you guys can find it. I think I may have done maybe 2 videos so far, so yeah, we'll see. I will now glue down these. I was thinking about putting a gusset here as well, but I'm just going to glue these down flat, and then we can start stuffing things in here. I'm going to glue 2 sides of this, and again, I'm just using art glitter. See this wavy line? I'm just using art glitter, so hopefully the glue stays on this side of the paper. And this is a very large, very deep pocket. It's about the width of the entire junk journal. So it goes from one spine to the other end of the closure. And yeah, it should be a nice deep pocket for like these bingo cards that I made. So those will fit in there nicely. I just have to hold it in place until the glue is completely dry. Or if you have these clips, clip it down as far as the clips will go. So I think it was yesterday I was talking to you guys about that little piece of paper that I could make into a little junk journal. I went ahead and cut a bunch of paper to size. Right, just tore a bunch of pages similar to the ones that are going in the big junk journal, and I made this cute little document folder. So yes, I did glue a second sheet on the back, folded it over, and yeah, then now I have another little mini to go with this big one. So yeah, that's gonna go in here as well. This pocket needs to be inked, so I'm gonna heavily ink it with ground espresso. So yeah guys, I hope y'all are having a super crafty day and are doing fun crafty things in your space, because really, what else are we doing, right, besides construction? So yes, I had to let the contractors into my craft room. They made a very large hole in the wall to get to the other side of a bathroom. It's just crazy. It's nuts. So yeah, that's why I couldn't finish this when I started it. I had to let them in, but it's all good. Things are happening. Things are finally happening, and I can see the change. So yeah, I'm just inking like really good. Like I'm getting ink really like set into the image, so you can see the difference between the two. This is the exact same paper, and yeah, there's a heavy inking going on here. Don't you dare talk to me, girl. Alexa, don't talk to me.
If you'd like to tell me how I can improve,
no,
try saying, I have feedback.
All right, enough of her. So she's always blinking and binging and making noises over here. I'm gonna let that dry a little bit just so that I don't smudge the ink. But yeah, this is just going to be another pocket for something like these. These are some oversized tags that came with the paper pack, Spring Botanic, and maybe one will be a bookmark, or they can all be bookmarks, and you can separate your journal with those. So yeah, they will go right in here like so. So let's get our signatures and figure out where they're going to go in the journal. So these are our 6 signatures, 3, 6, yeah, and they're all going to go in here. So I basically chopped up a bunch of paper, tore them up, inked them, and situated them into these pages from the paper pack. And then I went ahead and cut up all the other pieces that are affiliated with the paper pack. So there's lots and lots of journaling cards. Okay, I mean all kinds of journaling cards. There's all of these little tags and cute little shapes of items that'll go in here, as well as some circles, some ovals, etc., as well as those really long ones. So here's a nice long piece, and these 3 long tags can be bookmarks. And then I have my own stuff, right? So like I have lots of my own items that I want to place in here somewhere. There's other things from the paper pack, but this is from Pam at the Paper Outpost. She has a bird collection that I downloaded. It's a digital download from her Etsy shop. These I also downloaded. I don't know if these were from Pam. May have been. Yeah, this is my early days of starting off with junk journals, so I did download lots of items from Pam. Again, these are as well. Okay, but yeah, there's lots of birds. I have lots of items still from that paper pack to include in here. So there's these, all of these I chopped up from one page. Okay, so they're all gonna go in here as well. Let's stitch in some signatures. So I'm going to use 2 colors of waxed thread. This is a tan-ish color thread, and it's waxed. It's pre-waxed. I didn't have to do it myself. And this is a green. This is like a foresty green color. I got these in the they're called Naturals. Here, let me pull them out. Nope, not that one. They are called Naturals. The Jewelry Essential brand, but these are Naturals waxed thread from, I think I got these at Michael's, if I'm not mistaken. They also have these, bead landing. Okay, so yeah, just waxed cotton thread. Makes your stitching a lot easier and smoother. So let me grab my darning needle here. I think that'll work. And my spine's going to be, they're going to be hidden because I'm going to decorate the outside cover of this journal after I've stitched in the signatures. So my signatures are going to go right in here in this 2-inch section right in here. And I'm wondering, like, let's get the official setting for that 2-inch section. I believe this is it here, and this is it here. Okay, so yeah, there is my 2-inch area of my spine. And I think I actually, let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. I thought it may have been even further back. Yeah, that makes sense. So here is my spine back here. Okay, so this is my 2-inch section of my spine right there. All right, so that said, I'm going to have to add some more glue to this area here that did not stick down. get all up underneath here. Okay, and let that dry for just about 2 seconds or so while I grab my awl. I'm gonna use the awl because it's a lot easier for me. A lot more controlled hole punching than the crocodile. If I need it to be bigger, if I need these holes larger, then I will grab the crocodile and make them larger. But I think I can get them all with the little awl. This is an awl. Alrighty, so let's see. I don't have any particular location I want for any of these, so I'm just going to mark them just like this and stitch them in. So yeah, I'm just gonna mark them and stitch them in. So let me grab a pen. And there's 6 signatures, right? So I'm going to need my centimeter ruler. And I'm going to probably place them about 1 centimeter apart. So we have here 2 inches. 4, 5, 6, yep, 2 inches. Let's see, 2 inches, yeah, 4 to 6. So here's my area that I need to place these in. And I'm going to use my centimeter side to get me precise locations. I think I need more definition as to where my spine starts and ends. So just bear with me for just one moment. Let me just get this really nice and crisp. I'm going to use my bone folder to just get a nice crisp seal on where that spine starts and ends. So that's very important. Right before putting in signatures, you at least want to know where they're going to go, right? So just in here. Okay. All right, so here it is on this side. You can see that it goes between here and here. Okay. Alrighty, so let's put in our marks, and I have 6 signatures, so between 0 and 5 I will have between 0 and about 5.5. Okay, so I'll probably place them at 1/2 inch, and I came down about 1 inch, so I'm gonna put a mark here at 1/2 inch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1/2 inch. I'm sorry, not 1/2 inch. I came down 1 inch, and I'm going in at 1/2 centimeter, 1.5. 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and then 5.5 will put me too far onto the spine. So this is just going to take a little bit of finagling. So I'm going to do 1.25, 2 and 3/4, 3 and 1/2, 4 and 1/4. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's about correct. All right. So, and this is all going to be hidden anyway, so it won't show on the other side. So I'm okay. I'll move this one over to here, there, 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 and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So yeah, it'll all be hidden on this side of the spine. So we are good to go. I'm just going to draw straight lines down to make sure that I hit this mark on everything. Here's a pencil. There are so many ways you can do this, guys. This is just one of the ways. I've made journals all different ways. I've just placed my signature up against the spine before, and then just marked both the spine and my signature at the same time. That's doable. I've come up with like a template that I can use, and that works as well. But you know, it's all up to you. It all depends on how precise you want to be. So, and then here at a half, right about there. So I don't know what you guys are up to, and I would love to know, like, what are y'all watching right now? If you do watch Netflix, like, what shows are you guys into? I'm into a lot of true crime documentary series and such. Right now I am watching right now I'm watching The Pez Outlaw. It's about this guy who basically, not to give anything away, but you can read the intro and outro. This guy, he basically went to Europe and bought up all the Pez dispensers and was selling them at astronomical amounts of money, because there are collectors that would pay just about anything for anything. People will buy people would buy anything, you know what I mean? Like, why? Why? In the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and even into the 2000s, people would just, it was such a consumerism time of the world. Like, people would just buy anything. And yeah, this guy, his name is Steve Glue, oddly enough. His name is Glue. And yeah, he just went to Europe, to the Pez factory. And you know, like when you say it fell off the back of a truck, well, a lot of his Pez dispensers kind of just like popped out the back of the warehouse and ended up here in the US. But yeah, there's a whole like homeland security issue based on that. There's a customs problem if he isn't declaring them or what have you. So my next set of holes, I'm gonna put about halfway down, so about here. Well, let's do it here, 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 and here. So I'm just gonna mark here on the backs of the signatures themselves, and that's where my line is gonna go. But yeah, that's what I'm into right now. I'm also listening to a couple of podcasts. I'm listening to a podcast called Going West. It's hosted by a couple named Heath. His name is Heath, and her name is, wow, I can't remember her name. And that's weird because I listen to it all the time and I can't, it's Danielle maybe? Anyway, the name of the podcast is called Going West, and they have such a great chemistry that it makes you really interested in what they are talking about. So that's one of the things for me when I'm listening to a podcast. It has to be they have to really rope you in, and they do that very well. If I remember her name, I'll let you know. So here are my signatures. They're all marked on the side. You can't really see it, but here, here, and down here. And that's where I'll poke my holes later to thread it through. So I'm just going to continue poking through my awl on the spine to create holes large enough for my needle and thread to go through. See, I can tell this right here is on a wad of glue because it doesn't want to go in and out easily. But as I go through the spine, it just pops right in and out. And I think like right here, oh, it's the tape. It's the tape. That's right. I reinforced the spine with some of my bookbinding tape. So, yeah, that's the problem. So here there's the tape right here. So it's a lot harder. And then right here is fine. Here is fine. Here. And then the tape again. And then the tape again. Okay. So solved my own problem, or at least the mystery behind that. Okay, so always start with the back signature regardless of what you're stitching in. I always start with the back signature. And I'm going to use this darning needle. This one has a point, which is good because I don't want to poke holes through there, through the signatures with my awl. I'm just going to use the needle. And I'm going to start with the tan colored thread. Find my center page in here. Hopefully it's not a doily. Where is it? Okay. I'm going to find my center page, restack my papers. I'm going to flip this over and just poke through with my needle in 3 locations that I've marked from the outside. And then I'm going to start with the center hole on the signature. Get back here. So normally, I mean, what I've done in the past is like clip all of these together, make sure that they all stay in place, and I can. It does help, just to make sure that everything stays where it should be. But I'm already like running out of time. I have to make dinner here pretty soon. So, and that's the other thing. So in my recipe book, I am going to put in there a super simple recipe that just about anybody can make with the items you probably already have in your home. So maybe this week I will do a journal with me and do one of my recipes. So you start in the center hole, go down to either the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter which way you decide to go, either top or bottom, and pull it through. Go back through the opposite one that you didn't do previously, either the top or the bottom. And where are you? Oh, you're over here. Okay, and then you go back through the spine of the book. Oh my gosh, come on needle, get through. Okay, so I'm just showing you a basic 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and you always want to double check, make sure you are on the right 3 holes going up and down. And then pass it back through the center here. So yeah, there are so many different videos on how to stitch a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. It's super simple. The main important things that you want to make sure is that, 1, you do not thread your thread You don't pierce it with the needle coming. Yeah, you don't want to thread your thread. And then once you get it through here, once you get it through the signatures, you want to make sure that one side is on this side of the bridge and the other side is on the opposite side of the bridge. And that's pretty much it, guys. Those are the rules for doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So don't thread your thread, and make sure that your 2 ends are on opposite sides of this guy. And I'm not going to cut off my thread. I'm going to leave it long so that I can make sure I get the most out of all of it. And I'm just going to even up my pages through here. Everything is nice and taut but not tearing. I think I heard that phrase by Pam. Taut but not tearing. And tie myself a little lock knot that's right over left and left over right. And I'll tie a little bow. You can also leave this long dangling out the back, out the end of the book, and put a little charm or what have you. I've tried doing it at the top, but I've always found that my charms look better when they are not attached to the signature. So, like, I've always done like a spine dangle out the back of the book here, but I found that if it's not attached to the signature thread, then it does work and look better. So yeah, here's one signature stitched in. I'm going to go ahead and stitch in these other 5 signatures, and I'll be back in just about 2 ticks for you guys, but about 10 minutes for me. I'll be right back. Alright guys, so as I'm stitching in my signatures, I realize this video has gone on way too long, so I'm going to have to stop here. We'll pick this up on another day this week, and I'll show you how I finish off the journal, including the closures, etc. I want you guys to have a super crafty day, guys. Go do something wonderful. And don't forget to check out my links down below. Hit the bell for notifications after you've subscribed to the channel, as well as hit that like button if you love the content here on the channel, and I'll continue to produce more like this. Alright guys, have a crafty day, stay naturally curious, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye!